Some huge reports coming out there today linking Marcus Rashford to Tottenham. Ange Postecoglou will be sacked regardless if he wins the Europa League. But the three managers that could be taken over, two of them are, let's not even get into that too much because I will lose my shit. And Martin Zubimendi, according to many reports, has finalised or is finalising positive talks to become a new Arsenal player, as well as Cunha and Osimhen to Manchester United. And Chelsea, at the moment, in the driving seat for Dean Huijsen. We have got so much to get into. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button. 90% of you, yes, you watching this right now, hit that subscribe button. 90% watch the content every single month but are not subscribed. We are 516 subscribers to be precise off of hitting 52k. Now we're going to start off with the big news coming out a few hours ago. Now, before anyone says clickbait, or Henry talks bollocks or whatever, I am just a messenger. I talk about reports, and that is it. You guys can decide if they're true or not, but many people now. David Ornstein has linked Arsenal to Zubimendi, as well as Fabrizio Romano has in the January window. Madrid is still there, but there are reports coming out suggesting Arsenal have almost finalised the signing of Martin Zubimendi after positive talks recently, with Andrea Berta pushing to have transfer completed in the coming weeks. Zubimendi has made Arsenal his priority. Now, Fabrizio Romano said earlier today, I believe it was, that Jorginho will be leaving Arsenal. Now, why this is important is 5 hours ago, Fabrizio Romano tweeted out, Jorginho is still expected to leave Arsenal as a free agent at the end of the season. Flamingo have already presented their proposal to the player for a free move. No current negotiations ongoing with Naum FC in Saudi Arabia. And to think his last Arsenal game could potentially be the Champions League final. I mean, what a way to go that would be. Now, why the Jorginho news is very important for Martin Zubimendi? Well, they play a very similar position. Martin Zubimendi is a lot more mobile, I would say. He, of course, is a very good passer of the ball, similar to Jorginho. They can both sort of control that midfield, partnered alongside someone like Declan Rice with Martin Odegaard in front would be a very good midfield to have. Now, Martin Zubimendi is 26 years of age, just turned 26. He's on 57,000 euros a week and would be getting a significant pay increase if he were to join Arsenal or Real Madrid. 30 games this season, 2 goals, 1 assist. Contract expires June 2027, so he's got about 2 years left on it in the summer. His stats, however, defensively wise, are very ignore his attacking stats. He's not attacking midfielder. He's a defensive-minded player. His numbers are very good, though. Top 5% on clearances, top 26% on blocks. Interceptions, very good. Aerial duels, 1. That's based on 3,200 minutes. And he's obviously compared to some decent players on the right-hand side. I think he would be a very good addition to Arsenal. It's very much Victor Gyökeres is another one that's getting huge news right now about him. Andrea Berta is a very big fan of his. There's a lot of news out there saying Victor Gyökeres will be an Arsenal player come the summer. Look, I think this is Arsenal's biggest transfer window in Premier League history we're about to see. You know, Arsenal have opened talks with Sporting to sign Victor Gyökeres. That was a report that came out yesterday. There's more news about this today that he apparently is open to the move to Arsenal. So, look, I think he'll be a fantastic addition. If they bring in Nico Williams, Gyökeres, and, of course, Zubimendi alongside potentially Dean Huijsen, who at the moment is getting huge traction. And Chelsea at the moment are in the driving seat. But on Arsenal, that would be an unbelievable bit of business if they can get all that done. Now, Matt Law has put out, with regards in the last couple of hours. Now, this is a French outlet who posted this. Chelsea France fan club put this out to say that Chelsea are leading the race to sign young Bournemouth defender Dean Huijsen, who has a 58.5 million euro release clause. Yeah, the translation was accurate, Twitter. He will be, whoever he signs for, is going to be a very, very, very good addition. For me right now, if you put him in that Chelsea side, if Chelsea go out and sign a number 9, they are linked to Osimhen, they are obviously linked to Liam Delap. We'll get onto Delap in a second. If they bring in Dean Huijsen, a goalkeeper, a winger who can score goals, and a striker, they'll be right up there challenging next season. I don't necessarily think that Enzo Maresca is the right guy. I'll be honest. I don't. I think that he has a lot of flaws. I don't think he's got the experience to go and win league titles. However, if you bring in, someone of the ability of Dean Huijsen, then look, I think, he's 58 million euro release clause. And even Transfer News Live have put out saying Chelsea are leading the race. Real Madrid are doubtful paying so much for the defender. He's had one standout season in the Premier League alongside Zabarini in a very good back line for Bournemouth. He's represented Spain. If they get this transfer window right, Maresca has no excuse not to go and succeed as Chelsea manager. Now, one bit of news regarding Spurs, which, don't get me wrong, this did rattle me quite a lot. And it was Burnley manager Scott Parker has admirers at Tottenham. Now, surely we can bring in a better manager than Scott fucking Parker, who has only ever been sacked or relegated by Premier League clubs. He is a very, very, very good Championship manager. He's got Fulham promoted. He's got Burnley promoted. He is a very good Championship manager. However, the Premier League is a lot more competitive, and Tottenham this season could win the Europa League. If we win the Europa League, surely we can attract better managers than Scott Parker. We've been heavily linked to Iriola. We've been heavily linked to Thomas Frank at Brentford. There's a report coming out from the Daily Mail saying others are likely to follow Scott Munn out the door at Tottenham after a review in this reason's clubs for underperformances is carried out. Various departments within the football operation are under microscope, and a series of changes are expected across such as medical, sports science, analytics. There is belief that the season has not been good enough across the board, that responsibility lies with not just the head coach. Nobody is safe, said one insider with the knowledge of the situation. And that's what you need. You need every single person, from the coaches, the staff, the ownership, to be, firing in all cylinders. And even Matt Law has said yesterday, singing from the same hymn sheet as well, that there is a growing sense that Postecoglou is likely to leave at the end of the season. Let's be honest, 18 Premier League defeats is absolutely disgraceful. It is absolutely disgraceful when you look at our form this season. Don't get me wrong, if we win the Europa League, it will be one of our most successful seasons, funny enough, in recent years. Now, according to transfers.com, Tottenham would be interested in signing Marcus Rashford this summer if Aston Villa decide against making his loan move from Manchester United permanent. Now, Marcus Rashford, since coming into Aston Villa, has been very, 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 very good. Let's just be brutally honest. He has been good. 10 goals in the Premier League, 10 games in the Premier League, 2 goals, 2 assists. In the Champions League, 4 games, 2 assists. Since coming into an Aston Villa shirt, he has been very, very good. Overall, though, when you look at his wages, when you look at how volatile he can be, I don't think, as much as he's better than Brennan Johnson, as much as he's better than Odebear, I don't think he is let's just be brutally honest, worth the money. He'd probably be £40 million. Tottenham are probably going to have a string budget again because Daniel Levy likes to save the pennies. There is a lot more and better players available for, a price out there. Chelsea are heavily linked with Delap, of course, at Ipswich. Liam Delap this season has been very good. I would take Liam Delap, 12 goals and 2 assists, if we were to sell Richarlison in the Premier League. He's heavily linked with a move to Chelsea. A top insider, according to a Chelsea news website, a top insider reveals Delap will decide his next club with the crucial factor in his decision. He then goes on to say, Chelsea target Liam Delap. I'll actually bring it up on the screen, providing there is no adverts, because you know what these websites like to do. Delap will decide his thing next season. He then goes on to say, we'll wait to the end of the season to see who has European or Champions League football deciding his next. According to Ben Jacobs, the Blues are braced for another busy summer and could fund their business by selling as many as 7 or 8 players. Look, I think Delap is a good striker, but again, it's similar to the Dominic Solanke situation. Can you step up from a team that's around anywhere from 13th to the relegation zone, go to a massive club like Chelsea, who potentially could be in the Europa League, Champions League, or Conference League next season, and perform? I mean, Solanke so far this season hasn't actually, in terms of goals this season, he's got 7 goals in 24 games in the Premier League, and he's got 3 in the Europa League. In terms of overall GA, he's got 17 GA in 34 games, so that's roughly 1 in 2. But overall, it's not that great, is it? Well, actually, tell a lie. In the League Cup, he got 2 goals as well. So he's got 21 GA, or 20 GA, sorry, in 38 games. So, like, in terms of a return, is that good enough for £60 million? I'm not so sure. And Matthias Cunha is a player that Tottenham and Chelsea should be going after, in my opinion. But it looks like Manchester United are going to be the ones. 14 goals and 4 assists this season in a Wolves shirt, has been really, really good. He's improved his goal record from last season from 12 to 14. Wolves are in really, really good form. That's going to be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United. It really, really is. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Please butcher that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.